Mr. La Rocha, thank you for joining us. First of all, with this stronger mandate for Mr. Sanchez, how will the economic policies under this new government, if he manages to build a coalition and govern, how will the economic policies actually differ from last time?
Well, I think they will be a continuation of what we have done over the last 10 months. So it's not about what we say, but what we have already done. So I want to send a firm and reassuring message to investors and markets. You know, the economic policies will continue the path that we have been following. Fiscal consolidation, macroeconomic stability, and reduction of inequalities will be, and a very pro-European policies will be the key priorities for the next government.
Mr. De La Rocha, investors are worried that a potential alliance with the anti-establishment Podemos could actually boost public spending and widen the deficit. What do you say to those concerns?
Well, what I say is not about what I say, is what we have done over the last 10 months. It's very important. We had a pact with Podemos, and yet we have a firm commitment on fiscal consolidation, on the reduction of public deficit and public debt. We have done it with 85 MPs last term, and our commitment to fiscal consolidation is unwavering, and it will continue no matter with whom the coalition is formed.
Mr. De Rocha, Tom Keene in New York, it is extraordinary how the ghost of Mr. Franco is stepped out. The Vox vote was 10.3% down in the south, the southern side of Madrid as well. Do you anticipate that that is a permanent vote, a shift in Spanish politics towards a minority but growing arch-conservative vote?
Well, certainly it's very worrying, you know, but in all truth, you know, Spain cannot be an island in the midst of Europe where, you know, the extreme right forces are growing and rising all over Europe. Yet, you know, I think in Spain they have been contained, and ultimately the forces of progress have defeated the forces of the reaction, you know. Those that embrace the future have defeated those that are stuck in the past. And yes, it's a worrying prospect for the future, but today we are celebrating the victory of progress vis-a-vis reactionary forces.
What is the policy prescription to gain confidence of centrists and those to the left? What is the single policy bullet you need?
Well, we are open to dialogue on the basis of a broad center-left progressive program, you know, with three key priorities that the Prime Minister laid out last night. You know, first, reduction of inequalities. Secondly, you know, uprooting corruption and restoring decency in Spain's public life. And third, you know, we are open to dialogue to address the constitutional and territorial problems of this problem, but always on the basis of the Constitution, not beyond the Constitution. I think with those three key priorities, you know, we are open to dialogue with all political forces, and hopefully, you know, we'll form a strong and stable government that can, you know, address the key problems of this country.
But Mr. De La Rocha, can you walk us through the political maths on how Pedro Sanchez could actually secure the votes he needs to govern?
Well, I think it's a little bit too early to anticipate the next steps. You know, last night, Prime Minister Sanchez said he's open to dialogue and conversations with all forces on the basis of a broadly progressive agenda that I just described. I think, you know, the limits is the Constitution. I cannot anticipate what he or the senior leadership of the party will say. But, you know, I think there is a clear majority on the center-left, and he might, you know, he will have to take the lead. The victory of the Socialist Party is clear, and it is for him to decide with whom to form coalition.
Mr. La Rocha, it's very clear that Mr. Sanchez is somewhat of an anomaly, right, being center-left and actually increasing in the voters' minds. How did he do it?
Well, I think, but following realistic but progressive policies, that tackle people's lives, by enacting laws and regulation that reduce inequality, that reduce poverty, and also, with an open mind and open dialogue to confront both the radical forces on the extreme right, those of reactionary forces, and also tending his hand for dialogue and normalization with the pro-independentist forces, but always, and I insist, always within the Constitution.